Say something, I'm giving up on you. And anywhere I would have bullied you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another video on the Tom Dark channel. I'm your host, Tom Dark, and today I've got a pretty, kind of a mixed video for you guys. Not mixed race, that is, unless you count Italians. More of a mixed emotions video because of what's happening right now. We all know who Keemstar is. Former Xbox Live troll and hard R superstar turned internet drama news show host. He is, of course, the host of DramaAlert. Or he was, until the last few days when he announced that he was going to be retiring as the host. Keem was posting videos for a while saying that he was bored with the internet and he wanted something exciting to happen. Some of which then got posted across subreddits like r/cringetopia, where people just kind of made fun of him for his channel getting less views lately than he was accustomed to.
Where the YouTubers are walking around like fucking commercials, like, hi guys, I love you, how you doing? I love you guys so much, blah, blah, blah. Nobody speaks their mind, and if no one's gonna speak their mind, then there isn't gonna be a counterpoint to someone speaking their mind, and there isn't gonna be debate back and forth, which means there isn't gonna be entertainment.
There were some people there roasting him in the replies, but there was also a few who seemed to be a little disappointed that a guy who had been so important to internet culture was disheartened as of recent. He didn't feel like doing his show. And yesterday, he posted a video to Twitter where he said that he would actually be leaving the internet as the host. It's not bait, it's for real. And he also said that he would be posting a video the next day explaining why he's leaving and all of that on his own channel. It's kind of weird to think that Keem has been doing online stuff for like 14 years, and he's been doing DramaAlert since like 2014, 2015. That doesn't quite feel real to me. I mean, I'm 19, so that basically means that for the majority of my life that I have like a clear, solid memory of, DramaAlert has also existed and been like a dominant force on the internet. Weird shit, dude.
I know a lot of people think I'm trolling. A lot of people think it's just bait that I'm retiring. But I am retiring. I know I've said a million times that I'm never leaving the internet, that I'm never retiring, but I really am retiring. I'm going to have a statement today on DramaAlert to talk about it briefly. You know, things need to be explained.
Keem had teased his retirement explanation in the previous episode of DramaAlert, and well, today he finally released his statement, 12 minutes long and titled Retired. I watched the whole thing today, and after seeing it and, you know, letting it sit with me for a bit, I think that honestly this is somewhat of a somber moment for me personally, a bit of a sad one, and I'll kind of explain why. Now, assuming that Keemstar is not baiting here and this is real, this is really how he feels, and I do think it's real because of all of the things he's been saying lately about finding the stories on YouTube very boring lately. He hasn't seemed that invested, and honestly, if you watch Keem's explanation, I think anyone who likes commentary videos or enjoys YouTube in any capacity will probably resonate a lot with what he has to say.
Got pretty bad. You know, there was a shift in the culture where cancel culture became like this overpowering thing, and people went after YouTubers, sponsors, you know, like really trying to just ruin them financially, and that caused everyone to stop speaking their mind, right? That caused everyone to be a walking, talking commercial, all right?
I'm curious why Keem didn't say it here. I guess he didn't want to start another saga where he and Ethan go after each other, but if I had to guess, this moment is a bit of a pot shot at Ethan Klein, calling back to when he specifically talked about G Fuel in relation to Keemstar and seemingly was trying to hurt him financially, which he did, as G Fuel decided to part ways with him at that time due to the controversy and the negative press that Ethan was causing, not just for him, but for the brand in particular. A lot of people seem to see what Ethan did in that video as kind of an over-the-line scumbag move. I remember Critical called him out. He seemed to have an issue with the targeting of sponsors and the culture that could create on YouTube, but a lot of people also really liked that video and agreed with it wholeheartedly. A lot of Ethan's fans liked it, and this is sort of where the divide between the old internet and the new internet comes for me. It used to be that going after someone's sponsors or someone's financials was off limits to a lot of people. As Keem says in his video, it was seen as one of the cardinal sins of YouTube, in the same league as filing a false copyright strike. But now it's accepted as part of this like cancel culture thing we have going on, whatever you want to call it, where every drama has to become so serious and so angry. Everything has to be life or death. Whereas a few years ago, people would go at each other and criticize each other, take pot shots. Maybe a commentator would make a roast video about someone. The two would go on DramaAlert to talk about it. Maybe the person they roasted would do a little bit of a response, get a little bit of a following from their own from it, and then that was the end of the story. You know, everyone carried on their separate ways onto the next person, onto the next story. But it's not really like that anymore. Now, anytime something happens, if someone's criticized for one thing, they also have to simultaneously be canceled for everything they've ever done. And it feels like we haven't had a good, fun story in a few years, honestly. The last one that I remember finding really enjoyable was probably Pokimane. That was a good, fun story. There weren't like any high stakes or anything. It was all just kind of fucking around. And I appreciated that.
Back in the day, you know, when we talked about the community, felt like we knew everyone. Like it was an actual community. The community doesn't exist anymore. It's like so big and so spread. You know, I think back of stories. What was the name of those guys? These guys, I'll find it in editing. Remember, they got canceled for something everybody talked about. Everybody. Now a story will happen and only that group of fans or care about that story. You know, we're not knit together like we used to be. And part of the problem is we don't have a flourishing commentary community, right?
This is something that I think a lot of people feel right now, and part of that is because YouTube in general is a lot larger than it used to be. There are just more people using the internet and YouTube in general, with more content to appeal to more people, more different kinds of people. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's good that channels can exist independent of others and just stay in their own lane and not make videos like relying on other people. But the commentary community now doesn't exist like it did. What used to be one of the biggest genres on YouTube has now kind of dispersed into like people who want to be H3, and I'm not using that, you know, insultingly. I just mean that they take heavy inspiration from H3, like Drew Gooden, you know, Danny Gonzalez. They're kind of their own commentary thing, but they're more focused on like comedy than criticism, and even at that, they're kind of moving away from just talking about people online. Drew Gooden talks about movies and TV shows a lot more. The commentary community now, you know, the one that's kind of reminiscent of, I guess, you know, what we had like 2015, 16, is basically 5 channels. I'd say the ones that come to mind are Nick Diorio, Bo Blacks, probably myself, maybe Tipster, and a few other people. And that's really it. There's no huge commentary star right now who is calling out content, so to speak, or having interesting drama stories. And that's another part of it. Commentary channels used to be involved in the drama, whereas now it feels like a lot of them kind of are taking a huge step back and they don't want to be personally invested, which is good in some ways, especially if it's a really serious story. You don't want some like journalistic integrity being broken, or you don't want some conflict of interest. But at the same time, it's like, it's just been less fun. A lot of that is because there's been a big shift in internet culture in the past few years. Everyone is a lot more accepting now. And also, I think a big part of that is that a lot of commentary channels kind of see YouTube as a business, right? And so they want to be PC, they want to be brand friendly, they want sponsors, that kind of thing. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I respect that. I've done sponsorships, obviously, and I'm very thankful for them because they've made me more money than YouTube would on its own. But I think now a lot of people are too concerned with AdSense and getting the video monetized, whereas, you know, I think it's okay for once in a while you have a video that doesn't get monetized, but you're really saying something important, or you're just saying something funny. It used to be that people had a passion for making videos first, and the money, you know, the sponsorships, they kind of came secondary, because as your channel grows, you get opportunities to make money, and obviously you want to dedicate more time to your YouTube channel, and so you decide, okay, I want to not work a normal job, I want to make money from this. Therefore, I need AdSense, I need sponsors, I need all these things that will make it easier for me to do this full time. And that's a great thing. I'm very appreciative of the fact that I'm doing YouTube as my job. I don't have to be a fucking fry cook, right? Very thankful for that. I worked a few of those jobs, you know, similar stuff to that, and they really fucking sucked. I hated them. But it used to be that people had a severe passion for making videos, an intense passion and like a fire inside them. Whereas now, I think a lot of people just get into commentary videos, follow a basic formula, blow up a little bit, make some money from it, and dip. And I wish that wasn't as common as it is now. I don't want to sound conceited here or like self-righteous, but I think I have to a little bit at least to talk about this. I'm gonna try not to be annoying, but I do genuinely care about all this gay shit that I talk about on both of my channels. I think it shows with the content, people seem to be able to tell, but some commentators just basically shit out a video every day, and the contents of it or the topic are just completely viral bait, and there's nothing else in there. They don't really say anything, they just kind of ramble. And as a result, their fans aren't really loyal. They have super inconsistent views and ultimately dead channels, apart from every once in a while, because, you know, you just post so much, eventually something is gonna fucking stick to the wall, right? They get a hit. But it didn't used to be that way for commentary. People used to have super loyal loyal audiences that watched everything they put out.
A giant mess, all right? It's just a giant mess of not fun. I think back of the time where there were diss tracks, right? And people were making diss tracks back and forth. That was fun. We don't have that anymore. You know, if I go back and I look at, you know, we have DramaAlert DM where you guys can tip us off on news, and we look through that, and it's like you're trying to Me Too every single YouTuber for something, right? And a lot of them are guilty, need to be called out. Don't get me wrong. But like, that's the only thing anyone cares about anymore. It's like, where is the fun? You know, there's not much fun left in the community from the perspective of drama. It's always something to pull on the emotions of the audience, of the viewers, get them emotionally angry so they form a mob and then use them to attack someone. Like, that's what I see these other YouTubers doing nonstop.
This is a sentiment I've talked about with Willie Mack's show recently. Basically, the idea that pedophile allegations and that sort of thing have ruined the commentary community. It's also serious, you know, these topics have to be super serious. And this is something I'm personally guilty of focusing on. You know, a lot of my videos on Turkey Tom are about very serious subjects, very serious subject material, and it tends to be less of a fun thing and more of a high stakes video. And part of that is because, you know, I really like making those videos. I find those stories interesting, but a big part of it as well is that, you know, there's a certain weight to those stories that draws in viewers that people come to, they gravitate toward. And for some reason, every story seems to have a super life-ending thing for whoever is on the other end of it. And most of those are justified. You know, I'm not saying that they're unjustified videos to make, especially with the more, you know, vile topics of my main channel. I think that I was completely right in making videos about those people and kind of detailing their history, telling their story. But I think that viewers have been kind of conditioned to only watch videos from commentary channels about just those stories. And so now people exist purely to talk about pedos online. And I mean, those people deserve to be called out for sure. You know, as I said before, there's nothing wrong with that, but it just used to be more fun. There used to be something else, and right now there isn't, which is what I'm trying to do with this channel, really. I'm trying to, you know, talk about freaks on TikTok, talk about people getting kicked out, talk about Wojaks, rant a little bit, tell some stories, just mostly lighthearted stuff. Because at the end of the day, it's not all so serious. There's nothing wrong with a little drama here and there that doesn't have to get someone kicked off of every platform they're on.
Over the last, I would say 2 years, I've been actively looking for my replacement because I just need to do other things. I got other things going on. You know, when you work at DramaAlert, you're kind of stuck here, right? Some crazy thing goes on. I got to make a video, right? I don't get to plan videos. I don't get to schedule stuff. No, I'm on call 24/7. And, you know, after doing this for such a long time, you know, it's like, okay, I want to leave the house.
I remember when Keem had a few people host DramaAlert for him while he was gone a few times. One of them was Ty Blue, I believe. He used to host DramaAlert when Keem was out. YouTube commentator Kavos did it a few times. Nuda was the longest temporary host, I believe. He did a pretty good job at it. I liked when he was the host. Pretty entertaining guy. But as far as replacing Keem, I think that's kind of a far-fetched idea because the guy is just irreplaceable. There's really no one who has the same energy and hat and beard and zany, wacky voice. That person doesn't really exist. And as a result, I think if Keem does get a new host, they probably won't do that well. People watch DramaAlert for the stories, sure, they watch it for the content, for the news, but they also watch Keemstar for Keemstar. So whoever picks up on the channel will have a huge uphill battle, I think. Keem decided to end the video by offering for people to apply by making their own DramaAlert video and submitting it to him. So if you want to become the new Keemstar, you can, you know, put your little video together and send it off to him. And hopefully, if he likes it enough, maybe you can become the new host.
So we got to see who's got it, and we'll test some of those people out right here on the channel between now and March, and we'll read comments and see what you guys think, and you know, hopefully we'll find a good replacement for me. But I got some other stuff I gotta do.
And that pretty much wraps up what he had to say on the subject of him leaving. I'm not someone who has ever been a huge fan of Keemstar. I know who he is, and I've watched DramaAlert because it is kind of an undeniable force in YouTube. At least it was. But I've honestly found him a lot more entertaining off of DramaAlert on Twitter and on podcasts. So it's not like I really relate to the guy. I mean, he is kind of fucking old. But I do think that I will miss his presence online if he's serious about this. I feel like anytime I talk about Keemstar, I have to give like a caveat with it because I know, like, he's done all this stupid shit, and there are even downright evil things he has pulled over the years, which we all know of. So I have to give this disclaimer of like, no, I don't agree with everything he does. But you know, we have complicated relationships with public figures. People aren't black and white. They're more than just a few things you see of them, or a few clips, or a few actions. And in that way, I simultaneously hate the bad things Keem has done, and I appreciate the funny things he's done. The times he's entertained me, and the times he's made me feel personally connected to an online world that, you know, I didn't really have involvement in until, you know, the last few years, really, are too many to count. And now it seems like he's gone. This part of the internet is going away. He's lost his passion.
Everything has a start and everything has an end. And for me, being the daily 24/7 host here on DramaAlert, that end has come.
Honestly, if I had to put money on it, I'd say Keem's not completely done with DramaAlert. Someone like him who has been online for so long and spends so much, and I mean so much time online, you know, he's going to want to come back either with a new show, or he'll come back to DramaAlert after this little burnout he's on is over with. But I'm pretty positive that he'll be back in some capacity making content on YouTube. I'd probably be willing to bet like $100 he'll come back at some point. I find it hard to see that he'll be quitting forever, you know? I've found that with most people that leave the internet, they eventually come crawling back. As far as the direction of the online world right now, you know, I'm pretty curious who the new news source will be for stuff like this, if any. I guess there's Scarce and Omni, they both come to mind, but I feel like they inhabit a different space and have a different appeal than Keem. Both of them are pretty chill people who don't really get involved in drama directly, whereas Keem does and is actively like a part of every story that he really enjoys most. He wants to get in there, he wants to be in the drama, in the center of it, as a part of it. But at least for now, it seems like, you know, he's taking a break, he's going away, and he's retiring. So for now, I'll give a sincere farewell to the DramaAlert Nation.